You mentioned AI fatigue. I think that is huge.
And what sort of brands do you think are doing this kind of really well in terms of like that sensorial playground aspect?
Even when you see this on social, you just want to pick it up and play with it and try it.
So Julie, obviously K-beauty, massive.
I can remember going over to Korea when it first kicked off and went to Seoul looking at textures then and was blown away. With skincare, it's about longevity. The narrative around anti-aging has changed. People don't talk about anti-aging anymore. At Adina, we're very much at the forefront of trends, but also all the raw material launches. It's how can we then fit that knowledge and those ingredients to make sense in terms of what it is that they want to do.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Beauty Curtain podcast. I'm your host Georgia, head of brand at Adina. I'm joined here today with our MPD specialist Julie. Welcome to the podcast, Julie. It's so nice to have you on here.
Thank you. Really excited to be here.
Well, before we kick things off, I would like to just ask if you'd like to join us on an icebreaker. So do you want to maybe pick one of these?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What is the first paid job you ever had? And what is the most valuable lesson you took away from it?
Oh, starting deep.
So the first paid job I had was working in an old people's home.
Really? I bet that was quite rewarding.
No, I loved it. So I used to work in the kitchen, peeling potatoes, getting food ready, make tea, take it round to all the mainly old ladies, sit and have conversations with them. Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
That's so cool. So you had lots of nice things to take away from that.
Absolutely.
And did you just fall into that, or was that something that...
It was my mum that got me the job because she knew the lady that owned the old people's home. And so that was my first paid job, which was Saturdays.
That's amazing. So I guess jump into the first question, Julie. Do you want to just kind of take us back, like how you got into the industry, how you found what you're doing now, and just, kind of tell us that journey?
Yeah, it's quite a long journey because it's been... been around a little while. So, and I got into the industry by accident. And I say by accident, it wasn't I want to go and work for the beauty industry. I got a job as a shipping clerk, working for a company that most of us know called Givaudan. And I wasn't in the shipping department long because I was approached by the marketing team to say, do you want to come and work for us? Yes, of course. That was far more exciting. So I was with Givaudan for 5 years, amazing company to work with, 4 rather. And so I was in marketing and thoroughly enjoying that. And then I kind of had 2 paths that I could have chosen. I was really fortunate in that I trained in perfumery, went over to Geneva, did the perfumery school. And then it was, right, Julie, do you want to go into evaluation or do you want to go into sales? And I was in my early 20s, and if I went into sales, it meant I got a company car. And that was the reason that I chose to go into sales. But also, one of the things I was very good at was relationships. And so my first, 5 years in the beauty industry was with Givaudan. And whilst I was there... one of the things I realised was that I was, supplying fragrances is just a very small part of the overall package. And I got really interested in product development and being, more part of it. So there I was thinking about what I might like to do. And then I got approached by one of my customers. So I left Givaudan and went to work. They're actually a home fragrance company, mainly developing products for Marks and Spencer's. I'd been there about a year, was enjoying that journey, and then I got approached by another one of my previous customers from Givaudan, and that's when I started working for a manufacturer of toiletry and skincare products. And my role was I was a product manager, mainly working for Marks and Spencer's, doing product development, and thoroughly enjoying the journey. During this time, I got married and started having children.
Yeah, life's always happening in the background, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So 5 years of working with, they were called Peter Black, who then today is known as May and May. I started my family, and then I decided that I was going to step out of the full-time and work as a consultant, which I did. And during that time, I also trained to be an aromatherapist. And I'm mentioning this because it does have some relevance.
No, I love that.
And so my interest in aromatherapy was triggered when I was at Givaudan, because a lot, certainly in the perfumery world, was around essential oils and the aroma molecules from them. So as I left the manufacturing world to consult, I thought, okay, I've got a bit more time as well as juggling, having young children, working part-time as a consultant. I can also train to be an aromatherapist. So I did that. And then after I qualified, I ended up consulting for an aromatherapy company as well. So I was kind of, living the dream.
Doing it all, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well done. And super mum at the same time, right?
Then I went and worked for a small manufacturer of skincare products. And again, part-time, because my children were still very young at this stage. And they manufactured for brands such as Esbar and Aromatherapy Associates. And what I loved there was part of what I was doing was blending aromatherapy blends because of my perfumery and aromatherapy experience. So that was great. But they were very small. And after about a year, I was thinking, okay, I'm ready to get my teeth into something more now. And also my girls were all sort of growing up and becoming, they never stop needing you, as you know, but less needy. And that's when I started working with Atchison and Atchison, who then became THG. I was with them for 16 years. And I was there so long because it kept evolving and growing. And this is where, I guess, in terms of relevance to what I do now today, is we started working with Elemis. And that's when the company really got into what I call serious skincare. And I was working much closer with the technical teams, so looking at raw materials, what they did, joining the team at different trade shows that Adina would also be at today, and learning more about the raw materials and what they can do, particularly to facial skincare. So that was a great experience. And I kept thinking, right, I need to change. I've been here a long time. I need to do something different. So
how long was that, Julie, when you was there? Sorry.
So I was there 16 years.
16 years, wow, gosh.
And a couple of years before I finally left, I was going to leave, but they talked me into staying.
Yeah.
And anyway, then
happens.
I did finally leave. I went back into consultancy because I wanted a more kind of work-life balance.
Yeah.
Which was great. And I was working with a couple of brands. Again, one was an aromatherapy brand again. And then I was working for a brand called Face Gym that you may have heard of. Yeah. And they sent me off to do an audit at Herco Cosmetics. Went up there, did an audit, met the owner. And then he asked me to go and work with him after.
I feel like this is a pattern, Julie. You meet people and they want you to work for them, right? This is great.
So, so I was with Herco for 6.5 years.
Yeah.
The first 4.5 of that was I joined as new business development director, then became their creative director because it was, again, the development side that really inspired me.
Yeah.
So I was looking at trends. I was doing raw material ingredient sourcing, again, going into the sort of the detail about what the different actives did. And then I decided after 6.5 years of them, I'm going to go back to consultancy again. So there is a pattern. And then Will approached me, our sales director, a couple of conversations, and here I am today, working with Adina.
Well, we're just so happy you're part of the team, and hopefully no one snaps you up because we love working with you. But I guess that brings us, to kind of what you're doing now, Julie, for us as an MPD specialist. You're on the consultancy arm of our business, the Beauty Curtain. Do you want to kind of maybe talk us through what that side of the business is and what maybe your day-to-day looks like?
It's quite a unique model. And when, I had my initial discussions with Will and the team here, it was really exciting that a raw material supplier, as part of their own involvement, was looking at doing something quite different. to anybody else, within this field. So what the consultancy arm is doing, and it's perfect for me because it kind of encapsulates pretty much most of the experience that I've gathered in my sort of seasoned years. It's offering brands, whether they're startups, whether they're new brands, maybe they've launched a product, but they're still, looking to find their way. It's helping them with development. So how does it work? We offer that consultancy service and help them look at their brand proposition. What is it that they want to be? How are they conveying that? What are the claims they want to make? And then because at Adina, we're very much at the forefront of trends, but also all the raw material launches. It's how can we then fit that knowledge and those ingredients to make sense in terms of what it is that they want to do and what they're offering.
There's a lot there, isn't there? I guess the versatility, right, is really nice, and probably no one day is the same.
No one day is the same.
Yeah.
And it varies. One day I might be talking to a brand about, what is it that they want to achieve,
Sure.
what are their aspirations, their goals. Another day it could be looking at different raw materials to fit different propositions. Another day it could be packaging, sourcing, or I might be doing something, to give them guidance on regulatory. But one of the important things that we do is partner them with manufacturers. So we've spent a bit of time collaborating with manufacturers who want to work with the beauty curtain, Adina. And it's making sure that you have the right fit. Because, like anything in life, some brands you think, yeah, that manufacturer would be better.
You've got to tailor that sort of approach and not
absolutely.
one size fits all kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a hand-holding exercise to give the brand the support that they need to take them to the next level.
And in terms of like audiences, like who we're working with in that process, like who are we talking to here, like types of brands, or is it like indie, or is it big, or is it everything?
So far it's been a combination, Georgia.
Yes, I bet.
So we have some startups and some indie brands. Then there are some brands that already exist, but maybe they don't have the right partner to scale with. Or there have been a couple of brands where, again, they already exist. They have a partner, but actually the partner, it's very transactional rather than having that innovation and that development. So yeah, it's been a real mix so far, which makes it more interesting.
Definitely. Yeah, I can see why no one day is the same. So that's brilliant. And I'm guessing as part of that, then you must be exposed to so many different types of briefs, probably briefs coming out of your ears. What's that kind of common brief that's coming across at the moment? Is there any sort of trend in things that you're sort of seeing, or needs, demands, like right now?
I'd say the two most common things, which is probably indicative of what's happening in the marketplace as well, is with skincare, it's about longevity.
Sure, yeah.
So as you know, the narrative around anti-aging has changed. People don't talk about anti-aging anymore. It's very much prejuvenation and all things longevity, which encapsulate exosomes and all sorts. And the interesting thing is, it's not just brand new products. It's, okay, we have this product already, but we want to relaunch it. We want to repulse it. We've always marketed it as X, but actually we want to change the narrative. We want to change the language. Longevity is a big part of that. And I'd also say that the whole microbiome, which to me now is a given. I mean, it's been around for quite some time. And quite often brands already have actives in their products. But again, it's just changing the copy, how they talk about it. So on skincare, longevity, but microbiome is really important. And as we know, there was a massive ceramide revival a couple of years ago because of the whole skin barrier. And then the other one is the skinification of hair, particularly with scalp.
Yeah, that's massive right now.
and they are linked, obviously, because, that understanding that actually if my scalp isn't good and healthy and uncompromised, then forget everything else. And as there's been so much activity in hair serum launches.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why skincare is so much more exciting, because it's a leave-on product. Therefore, the actives have more opportunity to do their work. So with scalp serums, again, it's a leave-on. You generally put it on at night and leave it, whereas shampoos and conditioners get washed off. So yeah, I'd say skincare, longevity, and hair care, scalp.
Yeah.
And again, longevity in scalp. And certainly the whole senolytic science we're seeing now.
Yeah, that's so interesting, isn't it? And like the zombie cells. And
Absolutely.
Like, I think people are getting a little bit more like ingredient literate these days, right? So, obviously in our industry, we're understanding of that. But in terms of people, kind of shopping, they are going to the shelves, they are looking at the inky, and they are understanding things more. And probably being a bit skeptical of the marketing, I guess, as well. Like they just kind of understand it a bit more, go away and do their research. So
I think that's a key thing, is there's lots of research before purchase.
100%.
I mean, the high street isn't dead, like a lot of people tell you. People are out there. Yeah. They want to dwell, they want to experience. But as we know, so much research is done online.
Yeah.
And this is where certain brands have been really clever, in that education piece and building a community. So the community are all talking to each other.
Yeah.
So their community are educating their future consumer as well.
It's like people are moving and trusting like a Reddit source almost, like over
absolutely
whatever's going to be said on the, no one's really going to the homepage of a brand anymore. And as much as it's important for the bare facts of what's in something, they're seeing how they're reacting on TikTok, like what people saying in community forums. It's wild, isn't it?
It
how
is.
much it's changed.
And certainly
for brands, right?
I find my daughters, who obviously know that mum's in the industry, they're telling me things that they're seeing on TikTok. Mum, have you seen the trend about blah blah blah? Mum, have we? And it's
do you
great.
work with this?
It's great. Yeah. Have you seen this? Yeah. But then they're telling me things I don't know, because they are all over it.
Of course, it's
as we know, that younger generation.
And sometimes it's not just about influencers, is it? It's kind of like the real people with the real, skincare.
Absolutely.
However many step routines. You just want to see a normal person applying those brands, seeing what those results are like.
We touched on this just a while ago. It's about their recovery journey. So with skincare, like you said, people start following real people. And then it's right, this is my skin, and maybe it's acne.
Yeah, or like rosacea, or like something
that.
like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then right, this is me a week later, this is me 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
And that has so much more impact than, traditional brands that say, right, our clinical trial said 85% of people da 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 da.
Yeah.
Whereas when you've got real people showing the impact of their products, that's very powerful.
Massively. Yeah, it's just changed so much. And I guess we just have to adapt to consumer shifts.
Absolutely.
And, buying business models. But yeah, it's really interesting. So we've obviously got our annual beauty trends report coming out soon. And I know you've kind of touched there on longevity, but another trend that we're sort of picking up is that human touch aspect. And I know we've spoken about this before, and how much it's so important to, kind of value that human touch, and people are getting AI fatigue and things like that. What do you kind of think is the biggest challenges with that kind of trending now for brands? Like, is that something that you're seeing with clients where, kind of the human touch aspect is something they really care about, like the sensorial journey, bringing that back? Is that something you're sort of seeing?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, you mentioned AI fatigue. I think that is huge.
Big word right now, yeah.
No, and I think there's been a real, if you like, awakening back to what is real. And as we know with AI, there's so much that isn't real.
Scary, isn't it?
But I think that one of the ways that brands, convey this human touch element is about taking them on that sensorial experience.
Yeah.
Certain brands that have done that really well, and you can see their growth as a result of it. And I mentioned earlier about communities. It's about not only being real, but being present, being authentic, and having that transparency. And then how does that relate? It relates to products through sensorial experiences the encourage human touch. And it's, you know, be it your own human touch, it's still an experience. You know, whether it's putting on a hair mask and massaging that into your scalp and then maybe following it with a face mask, taking that time out, having that ritual.
Yeah, because I guess there's two routes like a brand could take. Like they could use AI. I mean, we can't say it's all bad. You know, people are using it in the industry very well, like with, you know, kind of researching ingredients or putting things together in formulations. It probably speeds up a lot of time for brands, doesn't it? But I think it is just making sure that, you know, that real sensorial aspect is like thought of first and not lost. So important. Yeah, definitely. And what sort of brands do you think are doing this kind of really well in terms of like that sensorial playground aspect?
Sensorial playground. I think Sol de Janeiro absolutely nailed it. I mean, they also put body care back on, well, not back on the map, but on the map, you know, because they have a real playful palette, the copy, the engagement. It's so evocative, you know, their fragrances. So even before you smell one of their fragrances, the name transporting you, and you've got an expectation. Then you've got the colour of the packaging, then the whole copy and the wording, the community, how to use it. And as we know, they've been an inspiration for many brands that have now subsequently followed.
Yeah, you can kind of see that happening a little bit, can't you? But I feel like they were the OG of that
absolutely.
Packaging and experience, right?
So I didn't bring an example of them in
Yeah.
because I knew we were going to talk about that because
Yeah.
everybody knows Sol de Janeiro.
Of course, yeah.
But I think there's a couple of other brands which I have put some examples in.
Yeah.
So body care, definitely Sol de Janeiro.
Yeah.
So this is the Korean brand Medicube.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we had them in our trends report for last year as well. And yeah, amazing brand.
it's all about texture. So this is the collagen jelly,
That's
you know,
so cool.
and you know, even when you see this on social, you just want to pick it up and play with it and try it. And I think,
Just
you
such
know,
lovely texture.
yeah, Medicube have done that really well.
Do you think that's kind of got that retro revival aspect to it as well as part of this? Like, do you think people are sort of reverting back to the play aspect when they're kind of picking these products up? Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And what's this product here?
So this one, I don't know if you're aware of this brand, Vareo.
I've not actually heard of it. Yeah.
So they are a fragrance brand. They've been around about 5 years and their fragrances are all based on neuroscience. So it's neuroscience meets perfumery. And each of their fragrances, you know, they talk about the impact it can have on self-belief. You know, we talked about earlier, confidence, sensuality. So they're already there in terms of having that additional story, not just fragrance. But they've launched these range of hand and neck creams, and they're all in these lovely, brightly lit packaging. And it's a completely new way of experiencing fragrance. So when you put it on your neck and your hands, it's basically a moisturizer. It's got that added benefits of ceramides, hyaluronic acid. But you're wearing the fragrance, you can really smell it, you know, and as you walk, you know, you're kind of leaving a waft.
Maybe add into like your aura kind of thing. Like, I love that it's called Witchy Woo as well. That's brilliant. What a
So I
name.
bought, no, I bought Witchy Woo because, I mean, woo is becoming very mainstream.
It is, yeah. Massive.
You know, but that's probably another podcast.
Yeah, definitely. But it's an interest, and I think, like you say, it's becoming more mainstream. And be seeing it in the products. The neuroscience aspect is brilliant. I think if the product's going to make you feel better,
Yeah,
you're
and
gonna
I
wanna
think,
buy it, right?
you know, we're seeing more and more brands talking about that aromatherapeutic journey. And as we know, it's very tricky when you're talking about mind altering because you get into, you know, difficult waters there. But when it's aromatherapeutic, you do have quite a license to talk about things.
And with your experience, Julie, I think we're in good hands, right? Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, there's some examples that I just thought I would bring in today.
So Julie, obviously K-beauty, massive. It's everywhere. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere either. Is this something that you're kind of getting these sorts of requests as well through for textures, formats, that kind of thing?
It is. I mean, interestingly, K-beauty I'd say the trend started about 10 plus years ago. I can remember going over to Korea when it first kicked off, and went to Seoul looking at textures then and was blown away
Really?
by some of the textures that they had that we didn't have over here.
We are quite behind the times, aren't we, in the
No, absolutely. Then it had a bit of a revival. Then it went away, and it's come back again. So I think it's here to stay, and they are such innovators in texture. I mean, obviously we've just looked at
seeing that as a
jelly
prime
cream,
example, right? Yeah.
But the bouncy creams, the cloud creams.
Yeah.
And also I think because historically K-beauty, their focus was really on the barrier. If you think about, where they are and what their skins have to weather, it was really focused on making sure that the skin barrier was in good health. And because of the climate out there was lots of these lighter textures.
And they're taught from quite a young age, aren't they, it's quite in the family, isn't it? It's how my mum does it.
Absolutely.
I've seen a lot of that on TikTok, yeah.
No, it is.
Yeah.
And it's a given that it is part of your routine. I mean, we don't have the 16 steps anymore.
Yeah.
Become a bit more realistic. But yeah, I would say it's definitely here to stay. And we will keep looking to K and J beauty, from Japan as well, in terms of what they're creating.
Okay, so Julie, we're coming up to the end of the podcast now. It's been really great to chat to you about all of these things. Well, finally, how would anybody get in touch with you if they wanted to reach out?
Yeah, very easily. They can email welcome@thebeautycurtain.com, or they can ring Adina, speak to a member of the team and leave their details, and the Beauty Curtain team will get back to them.
Amazing. Well, we do have a new thing that we've introduced to the podcast. We do like people to bring in a mystery object. So just to explain, it's any random mystery object that the guest would like to basically bring in. I don't know what it is. And it will end up on one of our shelves as well as just a bit of a memoir of who's been on as a guest on our show. So do you want to kind of unveil your mystery object and tell us why you brought it in? Yeah.
So this was a bit of a tricky one because you also said to me it needed to represent me, but also my role in the industry and at Adina. This is my mystery item. It won't stay on the shelf for very long because it is alive. So it's a sprig of rosemary.
I was not expecting that.
Picked from my garden last night. So when I was trying to think about what would tie in to all of the things that you mentioned, myself, my career and Adina, my mind went to botanicals. And as I said, growing it in my garden, I do have a love of all things in nature. Obviously in my, throughout the years, my love of essential oils. Rosemary not only is an amazing essential oil, it's one of the best cephalic oils that exist in terms of, that mind clearing. And I used to burn rosemary when I was studying and trying to learn new things as well.
I mean, it is a gorgeous smell, isn't it? And
well, you can smell it now. I don't know if you can smell it now.
I'm getting it.
Yeah. But also as an active, rosemary, it's just got so much data on it. It's particularly for hair care. But it's strong, it's resilient. So I thought, actually, I feel rosemary encompasses
who you are,
who I am, and what I'm doing.
Perfect. You are definitely a strong, resilient team member. We love you. And thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for those of you at home watching and listening. And also thank you to Barry for producing the podcast. Anything that we've mentioned in the podcast today will be in the description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next pod.